Our story these days is termed The Open Boat. It had been written by author and relies on what very happened to him in 1896. Crane was traveling from the U.S. to Cuba as a newspaper newsman. One night, his ship hit a bar. It sank within the Atlantic Ocean, off the coast of Sunshine State. Most of the individuals on board got into lifeboats. Crane was among the last to go away. There have been 3 others with him, the ship's captain, the cook, and a sailor. These 4 men climbed into the sole remaining seaboat. The boat was therefore little that nobody believed it might keep afloat for terribly long. None of the 4 men thought he would ever reach the shore. However, the lads fought the seas courageously, with all their strength. Would they finally reach land? The small seaboat bounced from wave to wave within the rough seas of the Atlantic. The 4 men within the boat couldn't see the sky. The waves rose too high. The waves with their white tip-top pushed at the open boat with angry violence. Each man thought every wave would be his last. Surely, the boat would sink and he would drown. The lads thought that the majority adults would want a tub larger than the boat they were sailing. The waves were immense, and every created a retardant in guiding the direction of the boat. For 2 days, since the ship sank, the 4 men had been troubled to achieve land. However, there was no land to be seen. All the lads saw were violent waves that rose and came ferociously down on them. The men weekday within the boat, curious if there was any hope for them. The ship's cook weekday within the bottom of the boat. He unbroken watching the 15 centimeters that separated him from the ocean. The boat had solely 2 picket oars. They were thus skinny, it appeared as if they'd break against the waves. The sailor, named Billy, directed the boat's movement with one in all the oars. The newspaper newsman forced the second implement. He questioned why he was there within the boat. The 4th man was the captain of the ship that had unsuccessful. He lay within the front of the tiny boat. His arm and leg were hurt once the ship sank. The captain's face was unhappy. He had lost his ship and lots of his sailors. However, he looked fastidiously ahead, and he told Billy once to show the boat. "Keep her a touch a lot of south, Billy," he said. "A very little a lot of south, sir." The sailor continued. Sitting within the boat was like sitting on a horse. As every wave came, the boat rose and fell, sort of a horse beginning toward a fence too high to leap. The matter was that once with success floating over one wave, you discover that there's another one behind it even as sturdy and prepared to flood your boat. As every wall of water came in, it hid everything else that the boys may see. The waves came in silence, solely their white ace created threatening noises. In the weak lightweight, the faces of the boys should have looked gray. Their eyes should have shone in strange ways that as they looked out at the ocean. The sun rose slowly into the sky. The boys knew it absolutely was the center of the day as a result of the color of the ocean modified from slate gray to emerald inexperienced, with gold lights. And also the white foam on the waves sounded like falling snow, as the sea boat bounced from the highest of every wave, the wind molding through the hair of the boys. Because the boat borne down once more, the water fell simply past them. The highest of every wave was a hill, from that the boys may see. For a short amount, a large space of shining ocean. The cook aforesaid the boys were lucky as a result of the wind was processing toward the shore. If it started processing the opposite means, they'd ne'er reach land. The newsman and therefore the sailor united. However, the captain laughed during a means that expressed humor and tragedy. Bushed one. He asked, "Do you think that we have abundant of an opportunity currently, boys?" This created the others stop talking. To precise any hope at now they felt to be immature and stupid. However, they additionally didn't wish to counsel there was no hope. In order that they were silent. "Oh, well," aforesaid the captain, "we'll get on to land all right." But there was one thing in his voice that created them assume, because the sailor said, "Yes, if this wind holds." Seagulls flew close to and much. Typically the birds weekday down on the ocean in teams, close to brown algae that rolled on the waves. The anger of the ocean was no lot of to them than it had been to a bunch of chickens miles away toward land. Typically the seagulls came terribly shut and stared at the boys with black bead-like eyes. The boys yelled angrily at them, telling them to be gone, the sailor and therefore the newsman unbroken row with the skinny wood oars. Typically they weekday along, every victimization associate implement. Typically one would pull on each oars whereas the opposite lively. Brown items of algae appeared from time to time. They were like islands, bits of earth that didn't move. They showed the boys within the boat that it had been slowly creating progress ashore. Hours passed. Then, because the boat was carried to the highest of an excellent wave, the captain looked across the water. He aforesaid that he saw the pharos at two-winged insect's body of water. The cook additionally aforesaid he saw it. The newsmen searched the western sky. See it, aforementioned the captain. No, aforementioned the communicator slowly. I do not see anything. Look once more, aforementioned the captain. He pointed. It's precisely therein direction. This time the communicator saw Otany low issue on the sting of the moving horizon. It absolutely was precisely just like the purpose of a pin. Think we'll create it, Captain? He asked. If this wind holds and therefore the boat does not flood, we will not do a lot of else, aforementioned the captain. You have been listening to the first part of the American short story, The Open Boat, by Stephen Crane. Join us again to read the second and final part of the story. You can read and listen to other American stories at viraltent.com.